Nation, Shawn Coleman here with Bluff City Media, and it's hard to believe, but we're already a few weeks into the 2024-2025 NBA season, and through 7 games, considering the injuries that occurred before the season that have happened so far during the season, the Grizzlies being 4-3 feels pretty acceptable. But the crazy thing is that over the past 4 games, we've been on opposite ends of the spectrum. There were the disappointing losses to the Bulls and the Nets, and then there were the pretty dominant wins against 2 teams with playoff and hopefully championship aspirations in the Bucks and the 76ers. So the Grizzlies at 4-3, that feels like a pretty acceptable start to the season. Of course, you can't really come to any absolute conclusion so far because, again, the Grizzlies themselves have many talents that are not available to play due to injuries, and several of the teams that the Grizzlies have played are also dealing with injuries. But I do think that there is certainly some encouragement early in this season when it comes to the Grizzlies offense, especially coming off a summer in which there was, a lot of changes to the coaching staff. There was a lot of talk about some changes when it came to the Grizzlies offense, really looking at, picking up the pace, looking at movement, both in terms of player movement, ball movement, so on and so forth. And I think that there are plenty of signs that the Grizzlies' overall offensive production has been pretty positive. Right now, the Grizzlies are 6th in terms of overall offense, and a big reason for that success has been picking up that pace. The Grizzlies are the #1 offense when it comes to transition in the NBA, according to cleaningtheglass.com. They are also tied for first in assists and also first in points in the paint. This Grizzlies team has been highly, highly effective when it comes to finding and converting shots close to the basket. They are right now as a team shooting 78% at the rim. That's first in the NBA and a drastic improvement from last year. You've seen the continued emergence of Zach Edey, the return of Brandon Clark, obviously the ability for many other Grizzlies, including Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, Scottie Pippen Jr., to be able to get into the lane and also be able to get to the rim. The Grizzlies' ability in the paint is what is helping this offense thrive right now, and that's especially been evident over the past 2 games. But you think about it, and you could say we've seen this before. We've heard this story before. If you go back to the 2021-2022 season when the Grizzlies won 56 games, their offense overall was top 10 in the league. And a big reason why was because of quantity. They were getting more shots per game because of offensive rebounds and creating turnovers. And so that season, they also were near the top or at the top in, points in the paint, converting at the rim, and they were a good passing team. So the Grizzlies' success right now is very similar to what we saw in the Grizzlies' 2021-2022 season, but of course it fell off a bit when it came to the playoffs. But there is a couple of noticeable differences in the offense so far this year. Again, it's only been 7 games, but the offense so far this year in the offense back a few years ago. For one, the Grizzlies' transition offense isn't necessarily because they're creating turnovers. It's because they are doing a very effective job moving the ball down the court when it comes to getting rebounds. This, according to cleaningtheglass.com, the Grizzlies are #1 in the NBA when it comes to converting points off of live rebounds. That means that when a shot is missed by the opposition, the Grizzlies grab the rebound, move the ball effectively up the court, and are consistently finding good offense. But the thing also about that is that they're doing it in multiple ways. When you consider different parts of the shot clock where teams try to score, the Grizzlies are among the best teams in the NBA when it comes to not only finding but converting shots within 6 seconds of the shot clock. When the shot clock is at 18 seconds left or more, the Grizzlies are using their fast-paced approach to be able to make effective passes and find shots before the defense is set. That has been a big reason why they're the top team in transition in the NBA. But if the Grizzlies were not to be able to find their shot quickly in the shot clock, they also have been very, very good at when it comes to running half-court offenses or some type of offensive sets once the defense is set. The Grizzlies have been the best team in the NBA at consistently finding 2-point shot opportunities. That goes to show that this Grizzlies offense, one of the big things that we had hoped for when it came into this season was this Grizzlies offense being able to find multiple ways to be able to have success. And right now they're doing it both by pushing the pace and finding shots effectively, in a quick fashion, but also if the defense denies that, the Grizzlies are also being able to find shots, especially inside the arc. Their passing and their overall player movement is allowing for them to find good shots in the paint and at the rim to consistently score so far this season. If you want proof of how successful the Grizzlies have been, they have the most total points and most total assists through 7 games through the first 7 games of a season that they've ever had. There's never been a season in franchise history where through the first 7 games of that season, the Grizzlies had more points and more assists. And a huge reason as to why the ball movement and the player movement have been so effective is because the Grizzlies once again boast one of the top 1-2 point guard combinations in the NBA when it comes to Ja Morant and Scottie Pippen Jr. Ja Morant now with 60 assists on the season, Scottie Pippen Jr. now with 50 assists. That level of assist production from a starter and reserve has rarely been seen in recent NBA history. We were spoiled for years seeing how well Ja Morant and Tyus Jones complemented each other in leading the Grizzlies offense 40-plus minutes a night. Well, now once again, we're seeing that with also a little bit of Pippen Jr. and Morant playing together sprinkled in. But the big key is not only are both of those players able to score at an efficient rate, but the ability for them to be able to set up their teammates consistently elevates the overall impact of this offense, and that is what is making a key difference so far for this Grizzlies team. So it may not necessarily be the nuances of the new offense have really settled in as of yet. It may solely be because of how good the point guard play has been. But at the end of the day, this Grizzlies offense right now is finding success in multiple ways. Putting the pressure on opposing defenses by pushing the pace and getting the shots they want early in the shot clock, but still being able to find the shots that they want plenty enough times if they do have to run through half-court sets to score effectively inside the arc and overall have one of the top offenses in the NBA. Now, setting all that success to the side, it becomes very interesting to see where the offense goes from here. Because, of course, the big focus of everyone is where is the Grizzlies' half-court offense. That is what has to be consistent for the Grizzlies to be able to find playoff success. That's why you consistently see so many of the league's top half-court offenses thrive and survive in the playoffs. Well, right now, the Grizzlies are 17th in the NBA when it comes to half-court offense, according to Cleaning the Glass. The thing, though, about that is this, is that, yes, that still is average or slightly below average. And a big reason for that success is mainly because of how good the Grizzlies have been inside the arc. But let's not forget, Memphis right now is without Desmond Bane, Luke Kennard, Vince Williams Jr., as well as G.G. Jackson. That is 4 of your best shooters, and 4 of the shooters who, besides Jaren Jackson Jr., are probably, and Jalen Wells, are probably going to get the most threes per game. Right now, the Grizzlies are 24th in the NBA when it comes to three-point attempts per game. However, they're 14th in three-point accuracy, and that is because they're finding good looks from 3 based off the success that they're having inside the arc. My point is this, is that I know that we've heard this story before. The Grizzlies, because they're able to push the pace and because they're able to score, 2-point shots in the regular season, that's why they're showing glimpses of a good offense. But they've got to be able to consistently shoot the 3 to have success in the playoffs as well as have a good half-court offense. The point that I'm getting at is with how good the Grizzlies have been at pushing the pace, passing, and scoring in the paint, eventually, when they get their best shooters back, you should see this offense continue to expand and find balance. And hopefully, that is what's going to allow for us to be able to have the half-court offense we all want. Maybe not a top 10 half-court offense, but at least an average to sometimes above average offense that can also go with a very good defense. And then you've got a recipe for success for the Grizzlies to find some playoff success and hopefully a lot of playoff success this season. So overall, again, not much can be taken as absolute right now, simply because the Grizzlies are missing a lot of the talent that they'll need to have the consistent level of balanced offense that they want to have to survive and thrive in the playoffs. But it is really encouraging to see that the Grizzlies have found an identity for right now once again. And it's not just like it's been in the past about them dominating inside the paint. It's the ability for them to be able to move the ball through effective passing. It's the ability for them to be able to find consistent offense through one of the best 1-2 point guard combinations in the league so far this season. And it's the ability for them to either, if they want to push the pace or if they need to set up and actually run offensive sets, they're able to find success in both ways. Right now, teams should be expecting the Grizzlies to go inside with their size and with the strength of their offense being players who can get in the paint and at the rim and score. And yet teams know that that's what we're going to go after, and we're still able to find success. So hopefully we're not only going to see this offensive production level sustain, but we're going to see it expand as we hopefully get Luke Kennard, Desmond Bane, and others back in the near future. So once again, I agree. Right now, this Grizzlies team, they're a bit up and down. Inconsistency is expected when you have so many injuries to the roster, but I do feel encouraged with how this offense is performing. I do think that, again, while some may say it's similar to what we've done in the past, I think because of our ability to have so much success off live rebounds and because so much of our success right now is predicated off passing, I believe that that's a bit more sustainable than when we've had high level of offense in the past under Taylor Jenkins, and I have a feeling it should only get more consistent as well as reliable once we get some of our best shooters back from injury. A big opportunity coming up this week. The Grizzlies facing off against the Nets on the road. Then the schedule gets a bit tougher as we start to get into some big Western Conference matchups. But Zach Edey and Jalen Wells are emerging as one of the best rookie combinations in the NBA this season. Ja Morant's passing ability is starting to meet some historical marks for this Grizzlies team. Hopefully all those trends will continue and the Grizzlies will continue to play well and they'll continue to find some success until they get some of these reinforcements back from injury. Make sure you check out all the great content covering the Grizzlies, the Tigers, and all things Memphis sports when it comes to BluffCityMedia.com. Thanks so much. This is Shawn Coleman. Go Grizzlies. We'll talk to you again soon here with Bluff City Media.